1999, I'm about to release my second album. Or maybe it was the first one. I think it was the second album. No, yeah. The whole label is absorbed by Sony, so we have more money, and they want me to do a new album. Or is it the opposite? I don't remember. Listen, it doesn't matter. Thanks, and you should see in the back how nice it is. Look at that. Oh. So in 1998 or 1999, I don't remember, the executive of my label plus the people who were in charge of the promotion at Sony, plus somebody that they hired for 10,000 euros at that time, they all tell me, hey, today we are going to Paris urban R&B national radio. Like, if your music gets in that, it's gonna change everything in your career. So I'm like, oh, yeah, cool. And they tell me, listen, we know you're a little blunt sometimes, you're young. Listen, we got this. Let us talk. It would be great if you let us do the talking, and unless we ask you for anything, don't say nothing. And me, I'm like, yeah. So nah, but listen, we really need your song to get inside of that radio, because that radio is national, and everything that gets in that radio and starts playing not only will generate a lot of money when it comes to copyright money, intellectual rights. Every time your song is going to play, there's going to be money for the composer, which is you, and the author, which is also you. And it's going to be money for the publisher, which is us. So, and all the people who listen to this radio are not just the urban crowd, the black people, but also all the French people, the white French people, which is the market that is not your Afro-Caribbean market, but the broader market. And if we can launch you there, your career changed completely. And instead of selling 100,000 album, maybe you can sell 500,000, etc., etc. I'm like, I will just go and sit down. So we arrive at the radio. I come with my manager. We meet with the label and all the crew and the promotion teams and etc. And we all go to the radio. We arrive to the radio. We have a meeting with the big boss of this radio, which is a super famous radio in Paris. We have a meeting with the guy of the radio, and he's listening to my next single. And the album is about to come out in 2 months. So we go to his. So he had apparently his office had like some nice music gear. Of course, he's a radio guy, and we playing my song. He listens to the song, and he's like, "Yeah, this is good." And he looks at the CEO from Sony who was there, or the CEO or somebody in top level of Sony, and he's like, "This is good." He looks at the CEO of my label, and he's like, "Yo, that's a good one." So me, I'm like, I'm smiling inside, but I'm saying, I'm not saying nothing. I'm just there like, I guess my song's gonna play on that radio. I was like, oh my God, wow, that's amazing. So my manager is like, she's like holding my hand, and she's like, be like, oh my God, like, but she's not. She's like, calm down, don't say nothing yet. So I'm not saying nothing. I'm waiting for the guy to ask me questions about my music, about maybe my career, about who I am, where I come from, and say, "Oh, nice to meet you, sir." Like, who knows? And so the representative from the promotion team that was hired and paid 10K for her work, he's like, okay, so can we expect you to play this? And it's interesting because if your song plays on that radio, there's a trickle down effect where it's not going to only play in that radio, but it's also going to play on the radio number 2 that is just under that one at that time, plus all the rest of the radios. If that song start having a good rotation on that big radio, all the medium radios will start playing the song, and it will make all the local radios that are small radios but that are regional, they will also play the songs. And now after that, you can listen, your CDs will go at 10,000 CDs a week. Like after that, it's we're talking about crazy numbers. You might sell like at that time where there's nobody's on the internet yet. At that time, you can even sell like 200, 300, 400,000, 500,000, maybe 1,000,000 copies of your album, generating 10 million euros. And even just for you, who at that time you're just an artist, if you get 8%, you still get like 800K for that. And so everybody's happy. The guy's cool. Apparently, they all know each other for a long time because they go there all the time to break some artists in the radio. And me, I'm just there smiling, and the guy's like, all right, so it's a done deal. The song's gonna play on the radio. And the guy looks at them and he says, not really. What? And me, I'm like, and he's like, the song is great. The singing is great, that it's in English. So listen, we're going to have to do something about the quotas and stuff. But the song is great. But if you want me to play it in my radio, we need to change the guitar here. And me, I'm like, huh? And he started explaining to the executive that, he's hearing another guitar. He's hearing something that goes more, and he start using one of those terms that mean nothing, but he's like, we should change the guitar, and then it becomes perfect. It becomes radio friendly. It becomes perfect for this station. So the execs of the label, they're like, listen, we can go to this. Listen, as we're talking, the song has been mixed. The song has been recorded. The song is finished. This is the final version. It's mastered already, and it's ready for promotion. And we have the music video that we about to shoot, or we shot already. I don't remember. And I think it was the Worldwide Chico, the name of the song. And that guy explained to us that he doesn't like the guitar and he wants to change the guitar for an idea that he has for a guitar on my song. And so the guy at Sony starts trying to tell him, we might go to the studio and try some ideas, And he's like, no, I think I have an idea that would go great. And then you hear a voice coming from the back. And that voice said, who the fuck do you think you are? That was my voice. And I was like, who the fuck, like, it's like, who the fuck you think you are exactly to come and tell me that you want to change my guitar on my beats of my song that I produced? And the guy is like, oh my God. And he's looking at the Sony people. And the Sony people are looking at my manager and they're like, and me, I'm like, no. Wait a minute. You think I care about Yo, I was stupid. You think I care about your fucking radio? You think I care? You think I'm gonna change my song to play on your radio? Listen, I don't care if you're the number one radio in this country. He was the number one radio. I don't care if you are the number one radio in this country. My integrity is more important. My musical, artistic integrity is way more important than playing on your little radio. So you know what? Fuck this and fuck that radio. And I look at my manager and I say, we're leaving. And not only I didn't play on that radio, of course. That song never played on that radio. But he called all his friends from all the radios. And he said, yo, there's this little guy called Kaysha who's very disrespectful. Yo, this guy is not playing on nobody's radios. And goodbye playing on French radio. It was over. And he told me, yeah, good luck playing your song in your little African and West Indian radios. Something like that. Which was a little... Anyway. Listen. After that, yeah, I got blackballed from all the French radio. All of them. First of all, my thing was in English, so it was already complicated. But after that, after my sortie, like we say, yo, no radio, like they just, that person that the label paid 10,000, she couldn't do nothing. And so I go in the car with my manager and she looks at me and she tells me, do you understand the implication of what you just did? And I'm like, yes. And she's like, do you assume it? When my manager asked me, do you assume it? It means you're not going to come complain to me that you're not playing on radio and that everybody is blocking you and start playing the victim in 1 year. That's what she means. So she was like, do you assume the position that you just took? Because now you're going to make our path way longer than it is right now. And I look at her and I said, yes, I assume. She was like, okay. And we left. And the guys from the label called me. They tried to, yo, listen, you have to call the guy, say sorry. I was like, me? Listen. Me say sorry for what? Listen, it's just changing a little bit of the... Listen. Hell to the fucking no. So listen. Let me tell you what I learned about the business years and years and years later. Right? And when I say years later, I'm talking about like 10 years later. I understood this about the business when I was an executive producer of artists like Lides, Soumia, BG, Eligio, etc. In reality, this is how, and I'm telling you this because when we did Ledes, we had a similar deal. This is how the business works. One song is divided in two parts. So you have a work, right? You have what you call a work as an intellectual work, and then you have the master. The master is your recording with your vocals, your music, the mix, the song that you are hearing on Spotify, YouTube, etc. That's the master. Inside of the master, it is embedded in the master, if I can say, it's what you call the intellectual work. The intellectual work is, for example, you just saw me doing a track. I composed it. So it means that inside of this work, the work is divided into three parts. The first part is 25%, 50%, which is author, composer, and the other 50% is publisher. So you have author, composer, usually we do 25-25. Let's say Malcolm Beats does a beat, I write the lyrics, we do 25, we do 50-50, so we have 50-50 of the song. If you add a publisher, the publisher takes 50% of the work. So it means that you divide our 50-50 by 2. I got 25% as a writer. Malcolm Beats has 25% as a composer, because the composer is the person who makes the melody of the song, and then we write that song and we record it in a studio on a microphone, and this becomes a master. The master is what you hear. So it means that to not make it complicated, if you have a cover song, for example, you can write one song and make a lot of versions, like when we do remixes. But you can also take the song of somebody else and you re-sing it for a wedding, or to do your own version, like I did for Diamonds. So the master, the new master of the new version will belong to you, but the work, the intellectual work, author, composer, publisher, will continue to be the original people, because you didn't write it, you didn't compose it, you just did a new version. So enough technicality. One day in 2007, when we are doing the album of Ledes, I get a phone call from the production. So I was paid to do that album 10,000 euros. And I already had my money, so I was cool. I did 8 songs, 10 songs, I don't remember. And then I get a call from the production telling me that, I think it was EMI Publishing, I think it was EMI Publishing or whoever. They want to publish my part of composition and writing on the album Ledes. So me, I'm like, why would I give them my publishing? Because I'm making, let's say for a song like one of the songs, let's say I'm making 100% because I'm a writer and composer. Why would I give them 50%? And they tell me that if I give my publishing, so 50% of my writing and composing, every money I make, they will make the same money, right? They explained to me that if I give my publishing, they will give me an extra 10,000 euros for the album. And I'm like, wow, interesting. And then I'm like, yeah, but I don't really need that money. And why would I steal? And they explained to me the deal. So what was the deal? The deal was, I give 50% of my not my composition and writing. I give my publishing away, and then the channel called M6 in France, which is the third largest TV station, gonna have a deal with the publishing so that the publishing gives the television 10% of the money it will generate from the song. So I write the song, I compose the beat, Lila sings, it comes out as Les Déesses, and of the 50%, of the 100% that my work is generating on that song, On a changé or Danse avec moi, I'm giving away 50% to the different publishers, including EMI, and EMI has a deal with the television, M6, so that every time they make 100 euros from M6 playing the song, EMI gives 15 euros back to M6. So M6 has an incentive to play the song, because now every time they play the song before Secret Story, for example, with 8 million people watching, the song is going to generate, every time they play it, they're going to generate 100 and something euros. So let's say 100 euros, right? So they know now every time we play the song, it's going to generate 100 euros. In those 100 euros, the 100 euros go to Kaysha, who's the author and composer. And this money is divided by 2, which is 50 euros. Those 50 euros go to the publisher. The publisher is now giving me 15% of those 50 euros, which is 15 divided 7.5 euros, goes back to the television. So the television, if they play the song 100 times in a week, or in a week or in a month, and they generate 100 times 100 euros, so that's 10,000 euros. Kaysha gets 5,000, the publisher gets 5,000, and from these 5,000, the television gets 15% back, which is 5,750. So, as they're explaining this to me, I said, all right, why not? Okay. I have made, from On a changé, I have made 250,000 euros of work from my share. And my share of that song is me making the beat. So I'm the composer. I made 250 euros as the composer of that song. 250,000. That's my share. And my share is only 25% of the song. Right? 25% of the song, because I'm just the composer. Who wrote the song is Camnous. Camnous got, as an author, 25% of the song, which means that he made another 250, right? So 25 plus 25, that's 50%, meaning that me and Camnous, we shared 500,000 from that song, which means that there's another 500,000 that went to the publishing of me and the publishing of Camnous. We signed the deal as they asked us for, with EMI or Warner. At least I don't remember. I think it was EMI, but I have to check. But anyway, the publisher made 500,000, right? And from these 500,000, they took 75,000 and they gave it back to the television. So that was a nice scheme for the television. Listen, you want us to play your songs? We're going to get a little bit of incentive, which is the more we play it, the more you make money, but we make money too. So now you're going to say, yeah, but you generate $1 million from the song and the TV only gets 75,000. Now imagine how many songs they play that they have these type of deals. And then you're like, oh, that's gangster moves. Because if you have 100 songs that they play and they generate $1 million for all the right holders, 100 times, they make 100 times 75,000 plus the ads plus whatever. So it's a good way for them to have an incentive to play your songs. And that was when I was like, oh, that's a good deal. Because if they never had an incentive to play the song, maybe they wouldn't have played the song that much. Maybe they would have played it like once a week. And maybe I would have only made, I don't know, 10,000. And the song would have generated in total 40,000. But because they were playing the song all the time, they generated €1 million. And from that €1 million, because they were making their 75,000, they made me 250. And then I was like, yo, this shit is crazy. Those deals, I love them. And I was like, listen, deals like that can generate me 250. Listen, let's do all the deals you want. With all the TVs in the world, yeah, listen, you want to share, you want to cut? Yeah, cool. And that's when I realized, oh my God, proud little me when I was 20 and some, when I got to that big radio. That's what the guy was trying to say. Let me change the guitar so I can take a percentage on your song. And so after that, I'm going to play your song like crazy and I'm going to make 10% from your song. But he didn't want to say it this way because maybe it's illegal. I don't know. Or yeah, it should be illegal. I don't know. But in reality, the guy wanted a cut. Mafia moves. He just wanted a cut from my track. And he was like, yeah, listen, I'll play your track. It's my radio. I played for my 30 million listeners. And you're going to sell a lot of records. And we're going to generate you maybe €1 million. But from that €1 million, I want 100,000. But because I cannot say I want a cut because that's extortion, I can say we should change the guitar. And I have a good idea for the guitar. Let me change the guitar here. And yeah, just give me 5 to 10% of the song. And me, because I didn't know shit about the business at that time, I just said, who the fuck you think you are? When the guys at Sony, maybe they understood the assignment and they were like, yeah, we'll think about it. Yeah, give us a. And me, I was like, what? Changing my guitar? But if I got briefed before and they told me, hey, listen, whatever he says, don't worry. It's all part of the thing. He's going to want to cut. But look, you're going to make that much money if you let him have a cut. I mean, I was young, so maybe I would have refused in the beginning, but at least at a point, I would be smart about it. But nobody told me nothing. They just told me, you shut up and you listen. You just show up, you shake hands, and you shut up. And like, it took me years, like 2007, so 10 years later, when I was doing the deals for Les and I did other deals like this for Tu te fous de ma gueule from of Many. So we had we listen, when you get to an executive level and you start running shit, and you're not just an artist, a small artist, but now you at the same time an artist, but you're also a boss. You have boss conversation, boss moves. You understand that when you go to the West Indies and you have your song playing in a supermarket, there's a deal with the supermarket. Either they're gonna take a cut of the money generated because they have to pay for the songs to play in the supermarket, and they can play what they want. But now they say, no, we're gonna play your songs. Either there's gonna be a cut, or either you're gonna give them a show for free, or you're gonna come to whatever event and you're not gonna be paid, and it's just you wash my hand, I wash your hand. So once you start being an executive, and you are sitting and understanding the deals. Hey, I'll do this. Hey, I'll sponsor this, but in exchange, I want that. I will do this, but I want that. Hey, put my name as if I wrote the congas, so I can get some sped down money. And I was like, you didn't write no congas? Okay, just put my name. And you put the name, and then there's always some money flowing somewhere. Listen, when I understood all this, I was like, oh Lord, I fucked the business in 1998. Oh Lord, I have to call back my mentor who signed my first 2 albums and say sorry. I understand now. Anyway, so because I put myself in a place where I could not play on national radio anymore in France, what I started doing was go on the internet at that time and look for all the radios all around the world. I could find radio directories and find radios everywhere. But I'm talking about all around the world. I would find the radios. I would spend hours doing it. And then I would do those special letters with protective thing inside the bubbles. And I would put my CDs in there. And I would then go to Sony, because I was still signed to Sony at that time, until 2001. I would go there and I would send from they have a deal with the post office, so you can as an artist you can sell everything you want. And I would go and every week I would send 50 of my albums all around the world: Japan, Jamaica, Africa, Brussels, Rotterdam. Listen, every time I would find some TVs, I would go to the promotion team at Sony and I would say, hey, listen, I need 50 CDs. And they were like, what you doing with those CDs? You sell them? I said, no, I'm sending them to promo. And they were like, okay. And then I would go with my CDs and send my CDs, my CDs all around the world. And interestingly, I believe that this is how being blocked from national radios turned my career into an international career, because all these places would receive my CDs because they would send me letters or emails to tell me that they received the CD and that they're playing it in Jamaica, in this, in that. And that's how, before I even went to a bunch of countries, my name was already there, because my first album, my second album, I sent to everybody. I'm talking about, I probably sent my CD to 1,000 radios, DJs, and so they start playing all around the world. And that's what created my international network. And my songs were in English, so that helped as well. And by 2003, I released my album, It's a Love with On Dit Quoi, which becomes my African Afro pop international mega hit to this day. That is still a banger, still my number 4 song on Spotify, like after 20 years. And I released that song, and my career, and now I'm independent, but my career explodes internationally. And music videos, I tour around the world, and people are starting to really recognize me as a name in the music scene. And at the same time, I'm also now an executive producer with Sumia Elisio, and Tia, that I record between 2003 and 4. So now I'm like a guy that you cannot go without, and now I'm part of the business deals because I also have artists on my label, and then we work on with Passy, we work on his album. I do 2 beats in his album, hip hop, and I also do a track in Dealer de Zouk, which was a compilation that really exploded, that sold hundreds of thousands. And we won, I think, gold for the single, gold or platinum, I don't remember. But so that probably 2005, I don't remember, I'm not sure of the dates. But to celebrate the gold record of that project, all the artists, not everybody of the compilation, but the most famous, we are invited to go do a promo tour in all the French radios to talk about the songs and etc. etc. And we go to that radio. Which is, the number 1 radio in France at that time. We just sit down. It was Dealer de Zouk. That's true. Yeah, that's what I said. So we go to that radio, and when I go there, I'm actually shocked that they all know me or remember me. But they're like, yo, yeah, dope, your music. Yo, my wife is from the West Indies. She loves you. That was one of the main guy there, main presenter of that radio. He's like, yo, your music is crazy, man. My wife loves it. Yeah. Well, I listen to your track. Respect, man. I was like, okay. And then who comes out? The CEO of the radio. And he's like, oh, Kaysha, hey. Yo, bro, much respect. Love the music. Congratulations on your career. And you know why he told me congratulations on your career? Because the things that I've done in France, being blackballed by everybody, being not playing on TV, not playing on radio, and probably because of him too, the level where I arrived without them, that's when they respect you. Because they know that, there's a lot of people to get 100,000 followers or 1 million followers on Facebook like me. They have teams and people, and they have all that promo and stuff. And me, I did everything by myself. Just me and the internet with you guys. So the guy was like, respect, man. Yeah, you have to come back and, hey, what is your actuality? I was like, releasing my 4th album. So I probably my 5th album. I was actually releasing the album with something going on in it. So 2006. And he's like, amazing. Yeah, listen, send us some albums to listen, and maybe, we could play them on the radio. And I said, I will. Don't worry. And after that, I continued my life. Because I've been used to being independent for so much time that I don't really care about playing on radios or not. I'd rather play on my YouTube channel or on my playlist on Spotify. I mean, at that time Spotify didn't exist, but at that time I was already using the internet and using the internet to push singles on Kaysha.com. I already changed my whole universe to the universe that you guys have entered now. Like the last 4 or 5 years, you guys entered that everything on the internet. Me, I had no choice but do it back in 1999. That's why I'm winning the internet game, because I was on the internet game 20 years before everybody. Not that everybody's, oh my God, we have to do singles, we have to do this, we have that. Me, when those platforms arrived, I was just like, hey, hi. When those platforms like iTunes, like Spotify needed content to play, I had content. I already had like hundreds of songs, 100 remixes. I had like all those stuff already. So naturally, those platforms, they push my music because I was one of the only artists that had a bigger catalog, and I owned everything. So I could speak directly to them and tell them, hey, I have X hundreds of songs, like, and I start doing deals with them directly. And so there's like a blessing behind that curse, because you could say I fuck up the bag at that time by just being too brash and too proud of my art. But in reality, I just showed everybody what are the boundaries. And yeah, listen, older me would have done these things completely differently. Listen, I would have told the guy, and listen, now it's my investment, it's my money, so I understand. But at that time, no. But older me would have told the guy, hey, listen, we're not gonna change my guitar, but you can get your 10%. It's all good. But don't come and touch my art. But you can still take your thing, and we put your name somewhere if you want. You know, like, because I understand the deals, but I still have my integrity. So interestingly, we wrote a song for a few songs for an artist here called Blaya, and one of those songs, I didn't write that one, but it was part of the. Oh no, one of those songs that I wrote with 3 people. So we had 33%. One of those songs, actually, I think first J Balvin wanted it, then it was Daddy Yankee, and it ended up being released by a reggaeton artist from Spain with Pitbull. Who else? Let me check the song. The song name is Esha Baka, I think that's the name of the song. Oh my God. Pitbull. Oh Lord, I'm not gonna find that song. Damn, what's it? Wait. The name of the artist was Juan Magan and Pitbull. There you go. Oh, they have many songs. That's the song. All right. So this song is a song that it's Juan Magan, Pitbull, Rich the Kid, and RG World. So other than RG World, you see Rich the Kid has like 8 million people. Pitbull has 32 million people. And Juan Magan has 8 million people. Very famous in Spain. And if you look at the credits, song credits, you can see the writers. So this is Pitbull. Bruno Silva, this is Virgul. Edward McCullough, that's me. And same deal. We gave some publishing and stuff, but at that time, because we might be big in Europe and Portugal, but these guys, so Pitbull is actually in this track singing my top lines. I wrote the melody that he's singing. That's crazy to me first. And when we had to write to sign the works, we get a news from the US. Pitbull was asking for 75% of the song, for 25% of the song, sorry. Rich the Kid wanted another 25%, and Juan Magan wanted another 25%, which mean that us, who created the song and the beat and everything, we only had 25% to share. So we only had 7.33 each. And the other two got a little pissed, saying to themselves, yo, so we did that, we did everything. They just come, they sing, and they don't even take like, I don't know, 50% of the song or 40% of the song. They want 75% of the song. And I'm the one who told them, old wise me of, so that was what, 5 years ago. I told everybody, guys, listen, would you rather make 33% of 100 euros, which is 33 euros, or 7% of, I don't know, 100,000, which is 7,000, or 1 million, which is 70,000, or maybe 10 million, who knows? I was like, listen, those guys are super famous. We have the opportunity to write on a song for them, and this is amazing for our repertoire. When somebody asks you tomorrow, who did you work with? You can say, I wrote for Pitbull. Yeah, yep, the song is there. Proof. And they were like, oh yeah. I said, yeah, listen, it's a long game. I'd rather make 50 songs like those where I get 5, 7, 10, 20% for big artists that generate millions of copyright money, intellectual money. I'd rather make 100 of those, and even if I make only like, listen, 500, 700, 1,000, 7,000 from each song, if I have 100 of them, that's a lot of money. And that's when everybody was like, oh yeah, you're right. And that's why everybody ended up signing and accepting to only take 7% from a song where we were supposedly having 33%. But listen, if Beyonce comes to me and tell me, hey, listen, I'm gonna re-sing your song, I just saw your video on YouTube and you were doing some mama piano beat, I want that beat. And she tells me, hey, I know you did the music and you're supposed to get 50%, and me, I'm writing, I'm gonna get like 50%. But hey, listen, I'm Beyonce, so I want 65% and you take 35%. But it's gonna be my single. Oh, sign here. Where do I sign? Because 35% of a Beyonce single is you a millionaire. So you just have to think of business-wise, is it a good opportunity to do the sacrifice? And to give you the best example of that, Something Going On is the best example of that. Something Going On is a song that today is generating so much money, but when it got released in 2006, it's a song that I put for free on the internet. And it was a free download on my website just to create the excitation for my album. It came out like 2 months before the album, created the excitation, album came out, Something Going On was a hit, but it kind of not generated money for me because everybody had it for free already. But because at that time, a CD was something that you had to buy the whole CD to listen to the songs, not like today where you can download everything. So at that time, I actually made money from the CD sales because of the other songs, because I had a bunch of other songs in there like Raquel, like Love de Toi, etc., etc. And after that, I made money from the shows. And then 16 years later, TikTok, boom. And now I make a lot of money from this song. But the reason why this song is iconic is because I gave it for free 16 years ago. And that somebody who was 4 years old did a remix because he knew the song from the clubs or his big brothers and sisters, or his mom maybe, who knows, did that a new version. Boom, bam, boom, TikTok, paf, money. And it's now going to generate not only money from streams, it's also going to generate money from the composition part and the writing part and the publishing part. And who's the composer? Me. Who's the writer? Me. Who's the publisher? Me. Who's the owner of the master? Me. The videos on whose YouTube channel? Mine. So, because I own everything in the song, every money that is generated by that song goes to my pocket. So if tomorrow, I don't know, Beyonce comes and say, hey, I want to do a version of something going on, and I know it's your song, I'm going to sing your lyrics, whatever, but hey, I want on that version 40% of the revenue, I will say, yeah, of course. Of course. And if a radio comes to me and say, hey, we're going to play the song and we want a percentage, I will say, yeah, of course. Because I already made all my money on that song. And if somebody tell me, hey, I want that song in a movie, but it's not going to be you singing. It's going to be Pitbull or J Balvin or Beyonce and J Balvin. You're not going to sing, but we're going to give you 70% of the copyright money and this and that and the intellectual I will be like, go ahead, go sing, go do your shows and touch my million without doing nothing, because I understand that side of the business as well. And that's how, I got in an encounter with the radio mobsters.